Welcome, everybody, and I'm Swanee Johnson, and it's time for a 10-minute tidbit. In today's 10-minute tidbit, we're going to talk about the wonderful world that we're living in and the current nonsense you're still putting up with. Hold on while we jump right in. And now for this tidbit of information they're already trying to sweep under the rug that they themselves brought out from globalresearch.ca/globalresearch.org. The CDC now admits that 94% of COVID deaths had, quote, another cause of death. This is a quite interesting article, so I'm going to dive right in, and I'm going to make some comments while reading it. At the outset of the pandemic, the CDC has been instructed to change the methodology regarding death certificates with a view to artificially inflating the numbers of, quote, COVID deaths. This is confirmed by the H. Ely M. McAvoy study quoted below. The latest CDC report does not acknowledge a 94% error in the data pertaining to COVID deaths. No, there was no mistake. It nonetheless confirms that 94% of the deaths attributed to COVID are or have comorbidities, i.e., deaths due to other causes. For 6% of the deaths, COVID-19 was the only cause mentioned. For deaths with conditions or causes in addition to COVID-19, on average, there were 2.6 additional conditions or causes per death. Now, last time I checked, when we're rounding numbers, if it's at 0.5 or above, we round up. So let's say it's 3, not 2.6. The number of deaths with each condition or cause is shown for all deaths by age groups. When the COVID data is reported, the other causes of death are simply not mentioned. It should be understood that the RT-PCR test used to, quote, identify COVID, PCR positive cases, is totally meaningless. A positive PCR test does not confirm that the patient has the COVID disease. A careful review of the CDC report remains to be established. The situation regarding data collection and reporting regarding cause of death remains unclear. An earlier report published by Global Research confirmed the following. Now this is just genius right here. Quote, the 2003 guidelines for establishing death certificate has been canceled. Quote, had the CDC used its industry standard, Medical Examiners and Coroner's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting Revision 2003, as it has for all other cases of death for the last 17 years, the COVID-19 fatality count would be approximately 90.2% lower than it currently is. Wow. For further details, see COVID-19 questionable policies, manipulated rules of data collection and reporting. Is it safe for students to return to school by H. Ely M. McAvoy? Well, we'll have to click that link later. But for now, the unspoken objective of this methodological change was to inflate the COVID death statistics and sustain the fear campaign. For more details on the CDC report, read Jack Davies' article, westernjournal.com below, by Michael Chasutsky, Global Research, August 31st, 2020. Let's see what Jack has to say real quick. CDC now says 94% of COVID deaths had an underlying condition. westernjournal.com. A new report from Federal Centers of Disease Control and Prevention shows that 94% of the cases who died from COVID-19, another disease, was also at work on the victim. Wow. The report showed that in 18,116 of the 42,587 deaths in the 75 to 84 age group, the individual who died also had the flu, okay, or pneumonia, while in 15,100 cases, the underlying condition was respiratory failure. Overall, the 161,392 deaths covered by the report, 42%, 68,000, of those who died also had the flu or pneumonia, while 34%, 54,803, had an underlying condition of respiratory failure. This is not surprising. The RT-PCR test used in relation to COVID-19 is identical to that used in relation to seasonal influenza. It says diabetes was an underlying condition in 16%, 25,000. Let's see, well, various heart-related conditions, including cardiac arrest, heart disease, hardening of the arteries, cardiac arrhythmia, heart disease, 58,687 people were found in 36% of those who died. In June, the CDC listed the high-risk individuals for COVID-19, those who had chronic kidney disease. Well, it just goes on and on and on here, how they manipulated this information and data and shut down the entire globe. But why? Whoa, and welcome back. What an interesting article. Can you believe that revelating information that's come out? The most revelating part is how the CDC is the one that puts the information out, and then people who have been questioning everything all along completely understand how the media and all the death data has been manipulated from the start, from the jump. Now, the sickest part is that it's happened globally, not just in the US, not just in Europe, not just in Australia, which they're being pretty much thrown into an Orwellian world at this current state. Let's jump over there and see what's happening in Australia. Now over to Australia, where they pretty much have all the rights that we do, like freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, and the ability to access social media. Let's see what's going on down under, shall we?
To delete the post. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have to give you these caution rights, you understand?
Yeah, that's
You're
fine.
not-
Like, I'm
not
happy to
advised
delete
say
the
do.
post. This is ridiculous.
You
Like,
can
this is
say
in front of me. That's
maybe
fine.
getting evidence, you understand that?
Yeah, that's fine. But my 2 kids are here. I have an ultrasound.
I love how he
in an
keeps
hour.
touching his
Like,
mask,
I'm
right?
happy to
Let me
delete
finish.
the post.
You also have the right to communicate with or to communicate with a legal practitioner. You understand that?
That's a
right?
lawyer.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is a bit unfair. Come on, mate.
No, we-
What about she just doesn't do the event? Like, it's not like she's done it.
Well,
She
you
made a
already
post.
committed the offence. So I'm not going to
So that's an offence.
Now, the search warrant entitles us and we're required to seize any computers, any mobile devices you have.
Earth?
Yeah. Can I just get your badge there, mate? It's all there.
What I think is absolutely incredible is how polite and cordial these people are while the government is in their house with a warrant to seize her computer and laptop and phone because she put together a protest, wanted to have a gathering of a peaceful protest, and people responded to the Facebook post, and this is how the government responded.
No, I don't really understand where they're wrong. I really don't understand what
This is a lot of stress on her too. She's pregnant. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, and she's pregnant, by the way.
This is just very unfair.
Look at what the colonizers are doing to the colonizers.
Any computers and
That's fine. Can I just
Let me finish. Let me finish.
No.
Any mobile telephone you've got, okay? So what we want is any mobile telephone you've got.
You don't need that.
They're trying to take this other guy's
Yeah,
phone. They don't have a
exactly.
warrant for his
Doesn't
phone.
matter. Any device in this house we're taking.
Madness. And now that we're back from a quick trip down under, can you believe that that's really going on? Holy crap. We got the CDC lying, manipulating data and information. We got the media taking all that information and spinning it any which way that they can to keep you from thinking for yourself. And what? Like, the fact that they rolled into this pregnant lady's house in Australia because she put out a Facebook post of wanting to have a peaceful gathering, which is her rights. But are they rights or are they privileges? I don't know. Maybe next time we'll talk about that on Swanee Johnson's 10-Minute Tidbits. Until then, I'm Swanee Johnson.